Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Cole. 38 years ago, in 1983, I appeared before this committee to request that my amendment to prohibit taxpayer funding for abortion in the Federal Employees Health Benefits Program be made in order. Democratic members of this committee, Joe Moakley, Tony Hall, and David Bonnier, joined all 4 Republicans to permit the full House to vote on my amendment. It became law. The Financial Services and General Government Appropriations Bill under consideration today, however, overturns the almost 4-decade-long law and forces taxpayers to pay for abortion on demand. I respectfully ask that the Rules Committee permit the House to vote on my amendment and other pro-life riders that are being requested today and tomorrow, but to keep this one to continue current law. As you know, according to OPM, taxpayers currently pay approximately 72% of the cost of health care premiums for federal employees and their dependents. Abortion is not health care unless one construes the precious life of an unborn child to be analogous to a tumor to be excised or a disease to be vanquished. Abortion methods include dismembering the child to death or by killing that baby with poison. Then Senator Joe Biden said, and I quote him, "Those of us who are opposed to abortion should not be compelled to pay for them," close quote. I agree, and most Americans agree. Over the years, polls have consistently found that Americans do not support taxpayer funding for abortion. The January 2021 Marist poll found that by a margin of 58% who are against it and 38% who are for it on taxpayer funding for abortion. And interestingly, a supermajority of 65% of independents oppose taxpayer funding for abortion. I also appeal to my friends on this committee to allow the other amendments, including the Cole Amendment, to preserve the Hyde Amendment and the Weldon conscience protection law. You know, we had during the Obama years, 8 years of non-enforcement of conscience protection. And we had so many people. We had press conferences, we had meetings where we brought LPNs, nurses, and others who were being coerced into participating in abortion. One nurse from New York was compelled to participate in a dismemberment abortion. She did it under pain of losing her job if she didn't. She was protected by federal law. She acquiesced, and she has had nightmares ever since. The Hyde Amendment has saved more than 2.4 million lives. There's a great deal of evidence of that, about 60,000 per year since it was first enacted. So this law, if it's retained, will absolutely save the lives of these precious children. I also have 3 other amendments I would ask you to consider. One would provide an additional $3 million to the CDC for Lyme disease. I chair the Lyme Disease Caucus. I've worked very hard over the last 40 years to promote Lyme initiatives. We finally got a big breakthrough with the working group that found that there were about 300,000 new cases every year, and there's much that needs to be done in the area of diagnostics, surveillance, and especially treatment, which is still very, very spotty throughout the country. Also, I'm asking an amendment to provide $5 million, as more of a sense of the Congress, to the LIMEX Innovation Accelerator. The Cohen Foundation and Labor HHS have collaborated again on an initiative, and we're asking Labor HHS to continue on research, diagnostics, and treatments for Lyme. And then finally, a $10 million redirection to, I chair the Autism Caucus. I founded it. I'm joined by my good friend from Pennsylvania, Michael Doyle, in offering this amendment. They will provide the $10 million. Autism Speaks backs this up completely to expand the Autism Developmental Disability Monitoring Network, or ADAM. At least 9 new sites would be created. We have an explosion of cases of young people and others on the spectrum. I have authored 4 laws, including the Autism Cares Act, which is current law, and was signed by the president, and has been signed by several presidents over the years. It all came out of casework in my own district. But I say this because this is critical, I think, to really accelerating our work, all of our collective work, to mitigate the problems associated with autism. I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Good.